mnemonics in your mind, please start. Pick up the yes.
Buddhism and science.
Oh, that's a new topic. So please remember, I remind you so many times that even the when you respond, please don't cite Wikipedias. This for general information. For reading, that's okay, but not for writing, especially because you're a college student. This is unreliable. So you can use them, right, to search out for the original sources. That's okay, but don't cite from them. Okay. Okay. So let's move on then. So how you been? How you doing? So you gotta have more income coming up, right? So you see the hit, you feel the hit of the pressure coming up, right? It's like combination, right? So please spread out, make the schedule. Make a schedule. Otherwise, you cannot handle. Even me too. I have to grade more than 100 students. I have to read their the paper of the student, more than 100 student paper. So I have to catch up with my work too, besides all the work. Alright, so let's start again. I hope this one you can enjoy. Alright, so let's move on. Last this is for number 11. This is the last week, but I think some of the sutra has been interesting. Who have that side, please? Yeah, please. Start your eyes around, okay? And please start because you need the number, okay? Otherwise, I type your name. Let's say if you miss the day, I will type your name on the announcement so that you can type your number. Alright, so let's move on. Let's see. I think the Lotus Sutra we talked briefly last time, right? So it's been interesting. This sutra has been interesting. Who had read this sutra before you came to the class? I mean, before this semester. No, Lotus Sutra. What's the number?
24.
Yes.
24.
Alright, so this sutra is so popular in the East because it's just easy to read, and plus it's just like a story, and of course some kind of myths involved with this sutra too, but you need to understand the meaning instead of read the story by heart. Okay, so let's move on. Last time you talked about this, right, Jessica? Did you?
It was me.
Okay. Someone else? Okay. What's the number, sir?
17.
17. So would you like to say something about this sutra? Is that you say?
No, what?
17, right? Jessica, you want to say something about this sutra?
I really don't remember. I'll have to look back on the paper.
Black, you here? You want to say something?
Yeah, I talked about it last time, but we talked about it again.
Oh, okay. Oh, you talked about that before?
Yeah, we did a couple minutes of it.
Can summarize a bit.
Yeah, the Lotus Sutra was based on the Japanese priest's Nichiren in the 13th century. The Lotus Sutra is becoming really popular because, like you said, it's been translated a lot and dozens of times, and it's relatively approachable of some of the sutras. The Lotus Sutra said that regardless of race, gender, or place in current life, that we all have the ability to become a Buddha and reach nirvana, so that's another reason it got really popular. And it also explains that no matter what you've done, no matter if you have extremely bad karma or good karma, that you can like be redeemed in this current life, and you don't have to wait until you're reincarnated into the next life.
You actually, Lotus Sutra become popular in China first before it spread to Japan. And this monk, he picked up that sutra as the main text of his tradition. Alright, Stephanie, you want to say something in this sutra?
That's from last week.
Yeah.
I submitted it, but I didn't print it out. I don't even remember.
I don't remember. What's the number?
16.
I don't remember. Okay. This sutra is very interesting. You know, there's a parables. I think if you are Christian, you can recognize the parable of the fathers who lost a son in the Christian tradition, right? Most of you know that parable, right? What's the parable about? Yeah? Yeah? The question is, this sutra has similar parables as a Christian one. The parable is that the father lost a son. You know that's parable?
I've heard of prodigal son.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like prodigal. Yeah, prodigal.
Prodigal son. Oh, yeah. What about him?
His son leaves with like money and stuff, and like kind of like gambles and like spending money and stuff, and he had a brother who resented him for doing that, and they kind of mourned him as like his father mourned him as kind of like he died, you know, because he doesn't know where his son is, and then one day his son comes back and he asks for his father's forgiveness and stuff, and so his father celebrates him coming back home and kills the fattest calf and celebrates that his son comes home. The brother was mad because, you know, he took all your money and he like disgraced the family or whatever, but you're coming and you're welcoming him back. And the father is like, it's about forgiveness, and you know, I have my son again, like when I thought I lost him.
How about this sutra parable? Is similar. Have you read this parable in this sutra? No? It's similar, but in different context. So they say that a wealthy man, he has a son. So yes, this son ran away from him for many years. And he went here and there to search for work because he's so poor. So one day he went back to his house, his father's house, but he couldn't recognize because his father is so wealthy. But his father recognized him. And somehow his father tried to keep him back to stay at home, but somehow he freaked out because he worried that this wealthy man imprisoned him. So he ran away again. So somehow his father used the skillful means that he sent his men to negotiate with his son. All right, come back to work for this wealthy man. You clean the toilet for him. He paid you well. So yes, because this young man, his son, is so poor and hungry, so he came back and did that job, clean the toilet, clean some dirty and so forth. So eventually, the wealthy man, he took down all his wealthy clothes to wear, get simple clothes, to work with him, to work with his son, to clean the toilet, to clean the floor and so forth. And then eventually, his son feel comfortable with his father. And on his deathbed, this wealthy man announced to his family members that, oh, here is my son. He ran away from me so many years, now he came back, so before I pass away, he gave all my properties to him. He inherited every properties that I had. That's a similar way. And so does the Buddha. The Buddha said that he was that wealthy man. He came here to give the treasure to living beings, but living beings, they run away from him. So he has to come down here to work as, to appear as human in human realm, so that he could teach what we call the Buddha nature that everyone has to recognize. Francis, you know your number?
25.
Okay. So, and this is many stories, many parables. One more thing before I move on this sutra. This one session is talk about, David Dada, remember? We talk about the Buddha only enemies, remember that? When we talk about his life, right? In this sutra, the Buddha said that David Dada is his foremost teacher. Could you imagine that? The one who harmed you, the one who tried to obstruct any way that you do. As for the Buddha, is his foremost teacher. What do you think? That's what is beyond human thinking, right? Most of the time, if someone steals your laptop, if someone take away your bike and so forth, you'll be angry. Not talking about killing you. David Dada, in his lifetime, he tried many times to kill the Buddha. But in this sutra, the Buddha said that David Dada is one of his foremost teachers. Why? Why is that? What do you think? But he considered David Dada, the one who tried to kill him so many times, the one who tried to destroy the Buddhist Sangha, the one who tried to split up the Sangha and so forth, as his former teacher. Why? Why is that? You know the idea? No. I think I can give you this example. I think you can recognize. Most of you, or most of us, when we go to school, right, if we dress up to the class that we have these top professors, you learn a lot from them. But for the easy professors, you may take it for granted. You may not care much, right? You understand that? So the one who gives you a tough times, the one who gives you problems, that's maybe in Buddhist view, that is your teacher.
You learn from challenges, not from...
Yes, that's right. And that's why, for him, for Buddha, that's good. That is the actual teaching. No matter who, whether they support you or they obstruct you, they still your teacher. Yes. So if your parents, whoever love you so much, they support you any way that you do. Yes, you love them so much, right? But however, if the one who obstruct you, if the one who give you hard time and so forth, most of the time you may think they are your enemies. That's all right. But in Buddhist view, there's no such enemies. There's no such evil people. Evil enemies start from the mind. That's why the Buddha considers everyone as friends, as teachers. You see, that's one of the most important lessons, teaching in this Lotus Sutra that I ever learned to. It's not easy in our daily life, all right? When we deal with people, right? The people who give us hard times. So again, this is so important, and I think if you have time, we can split the rest. There's many parables too. But this is for me. That's one of the most important teaching. Who done with the paper?
I like it.
Go back. Pass it. You got it? Okay. Yeah. This side. Remember? All right. So that's why when it was they married, back in the 80s, I recite this sutra almost every day. But at that time I didn't know much about the meanings because it's some stories like myths. But later on I understand the content of that, not the fact of the story that held in the sutra. Alright, let's see. I thought, Tiffany, you here, right? You read something about this sutra?
Yeah.
You remember, Hanchin? Can you remember? Can you read Vietnamese?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Have you read that sutra before? Your parents have this sutra at home?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
You don't know, huh? So you remember? You have that copy at home?
No, I don't need to read it.
How many you have it? No.
What is it called in English?
Kinh nhiều pháp liên hoa.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you got that? Your parents read that, right? Frequently, right? And I told you guys, some of them, they're really sincere. Even they bow one word, one bow for each word. That's such a sincerity. And even some of them, they use the blood to write the sutra too. So that's to show dedication. Are you here, Stephanie? You want this? You're not Stephanie. Okay, yes, this one, number 4. Wow, no one talked about number 4. All right, Amitabha Buddha, Sutra. I think most of you know, right? I'm sorry, the Buddhist one, the Buddhist student. You know Amitabha Sutra? Kinh A Di Đà. You know that? Okay. What's about? When you come to temple, most of the time you have to read this sutra with other people, right? But you don't understand much. Well, that's why yes.
Is it the Buddha teaching like about the Pure Land?
Pure Land. What's the Pure Land about?
Oh, it's just like a land of ultimate bliss after
Okay.
you die.
Okay. Yes.
If you like recite his name, Amitabha's name.
Okay. Yes.
Like
What's
that.
about him?
Huh?
Can you elaborate? What's about him?
I don't know. I just know that he's a Buddha.
What's about him? Here, that's why in Buddhism we have what you call 84,000 ways or Dhammadors to enter to practice. So someone prefer to do meditation, someone prefer to recite mantra, someone have the faith with this what you call Amitabha Buddha. So basically, you can say this celestial Buddha, he made the vows in the past to create the Pure Land, so that any sentient beings. Remember, in Buddhism, we talk about sentient beings. This will include everyone's, every beings, as mean human beings, celestial beings, animal beings, ghost beings, and so forth. Not only human beings. All right. So this Buddha, in the past, he made the vows that he create this Pure Land, so that an sentient beings who decide his land could be reborn over there. This is a similar concept in Christian tradition, right? If you have the faith with process, right? After you pass by, you hope that you go up to heaven to unite with him, right? It's similar concept, but it's different way that whenever someone go there, eventually they become Buddha. That's different. They don't serve Buddha, but they will become Buddha eventually. And they have what we call 9 ways, 9 levels of, you can say, achievement over there in the Pure Land. But eventually, when you get there, you become Buddha. That's ultimate goal. It's like, some students from poor country, they don't have access to education in their country, so that's why they come here to go to college, to university. It's similar concept. So, but the important is for this kind of Pure Land is the Buddha create this kind of environment so that sentient beings who have strong faith with him would become Buddha eventually. they would reach to the same status as him. That's called equality in Buddhism. That's what we talk about Buddha nature later on too. So they don't, they go there and the Buddha don't expect them to serve them, but they will achieve that level, the same level as Buddha too. And this talk about the wonderful places of Amitabha Pure Land. This is when you go there, you live forever, and you will enjoy all things. You don't need to work, you don't need to go to school, and so forth. It is ideal places like the paradise, like heaven in Christian traditions. But still, the ultimate goal is to become Buddha when you go there. Right? So this is the picture, the image, and I think most of you, all you, if you're Buddhist, right, you go to Buddhist temple, you see all this picture before, right? Is that right? Have you seen this? Right? In the Buddha, the Buddhist temple, right? Here, you see that? So this Amitabha Buddha, he admitted his delight to cross over world for the self-ness. And in this particular sutra, it said that if on the verge of death, if someone can invoke their recitation on his name only 10 times, continuously and sincerely, he would cross them, would bring them to the Pure Land. Only 10 times, besides 10 times. But at that moment, it's not easy. Before someone passes away, it's not easy for them to concentrate their mind. You know why? Because the body will be deteriorating, so it's not easy for them to concentrate because it's so painful at that moment. So, but it's just, according to this Pure Land, later we learn that anyone, whether they are criminals or high priests, if they sincerely recite Buddhist name, they will be there. It's like Christian tradition. It's the same concept. Not much different. But the difference is that when someone goes there, eventually they become Buddha. And here the thing I want to tell you one more time before we discuss further. The goal to become a Buddha is what? Huh? Yes? Our hardship? Okay, here. I think we can start to talk about this one. For our heart, the goal is Nirvana. Nirvana has been no more mental afflictions. It's not the place, but the mental achievement. That is you have no more anger, you have no more desire or craving, you have no more jealousy and so forth. That is the state of Nirvana. Yes?
What's the difference between Arhat and Buddha?
Yeah, that's why I'm about to talk about. Yeah. So Buddha, yes, he attained to this state of mind too, Nirvana too. But according to him, especially in the Lotus Sutra, the Buddha mentioned that this don't stop there. It's just don't stop at the Nirvana. You need to what you call practice the Bodhisattva path to achieve the Buddhahood. That means full enlightenment. What's the difference between achieve to Nirvana and full enlightenment? What's the difference? Again, Nirvana again, you extinguish all of your craving, of your desire, of your anger, of your jealousy, of your emotional fluctuation. Is that clear? That's what Nirvana. Yes, the Buddha has that kind of virtue too, a skill too. He extinguished all that fire anger, the fire of desire, and so forth. But on the top of that, he made the vows to teach others, so that he could accumulate enough blessing to become a fully enlightened person. Now, for our heart, remember, for the sixth realm, right? We talk about sixth realm, right? Right? So, according to Buddhist view, when we pass, when we may be born as a human again, or we may go up to the heaven, may go down with our path. right, or goals, and go to hell. So for art, because they don't have any more passion, they don't have more anger, and so forth. So they out of this game. For the Buddha, yes, when they are out of this game, they are out of this cycle of birth, but they choose to come in and out to rescue sentient beings. That's what we call Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva path is for. And there's 52 stages of Bodhisattva before you reach to the Buddhahood. And when we talk about Brahmana Sutra, it's one of the ideas. You understand that? So for the artship path, this is called self-help. You tie up and go around the circle. You just extinguish the fire of your anger and so forth, so that you can go out, get out of this game. That's all. But for the Buddhas, especially for the Bodhisattva, no, they extinguish all the fire of passion, anger, and so forth, but they come back to have sentient beings while they practice Bodhisattva path, and they go further and further until they reach what they call Buddhahood, become a fully enlightened person. And even like you mentioned recently, that someone made the vows to be born in the Western Pure Land of Amitabha Buddha. If they attain the Buddhahood already, they come back to rescue sentient beings, not only this earth, but in other planets, in other universes, and so forth. So their job is to help others, even after they attain enlightenment, fully enlightenment, to become Buddha. It's not for them to enjoy life, but to step down to help sentient beings. But for art, they don't. You understand that? Like I use analogy, right? If someone waste some crimes, right, they will be locked up in the prison, right? And but for us, we don't wear any crimes, so we come in and out freely to help whoever friends or relatives we have over there. You understand that? So when someone tired of being in jail, so they don't dare to come back to help other people anymore. You understand that analogy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's the idea. When we talk about Brahmana Sutra, we see more. Okay, so you see the difference now. Okay, so this one again self-help, and this one they helping ourselves and helping others too. Okay, so let's just move on. So here is the image of this Amitabha Sutra Buddha. It is Abhikusa Bodhisattva, this one or the compassion Bodhisattva and other Bodhisattva too. Okay, so let me move on to. Okay, you are here. What do you call this?
Yeah.
No? Are you here? Are you? Oh, are you? Okay. You read this one, right? You read something about this?
What? Which one?
Yeah, this one here.
Yes.
You
I didn't really understand it, but from what I got from it,
yes.
being able to visualize, I guess, the Buddha physically, and also the many bodies that I guess go into being a Buddha.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty much.
That's all? So actually this sutra is talk about visualization.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how I went more on the physical because I found more of the visualization of his physical features. Like they said that he has a ring of light around his head, and the pores of his skin illuminates light rays as tall as mountains and things of that nature.
So again, this is one of the techniques that Buddhists would practice, what called visualization. Remember, you saw the Tibetan monks who did the San mandala, they visualize the mandalas, many different types of mandalas. It's not one type, it's many different types that they visualize first, and of course they follow certain patterns or protocols to create that type of mandala. So there is the Buddhist, the one who sincerely want to be reborn in that Western period. They need to contemplate or visualize the setting sun, they spend the water around the children, the trees, the pond, various objects, children, the image, the Buddha himself, and this Buddhist, two Bodhisattvas, and the aspiration to the children, and the other one too. So that's why I can show you the image of here of this. Let's see.
It said once you reach the 9th level of visualization, you reach nirvana.
Actually, let me put it this way. This is what you call a 9 grades, and even the criminals on the verge of their death, if it is sincerely decide the Buddha name, they could be reborn over there too. That's why for the criminals, maybe they low on the low list, on the low level. But for the high priests, the high monks who have strong faith in Amitabha Buddha, they could be reborn in that high grade. But eventually, all of them would be Buddha. All of them would achieve the Buddhahood equally. There's no difference. You understand that? But this is still the practice. It's like, there's some student, right? It's not easy for them to enter the university directly, especially for UH. They may go to community college first.
That's what I did.
Yeah, you go to community college first to study some basic or general education. Yes.
I didn't really know what I wanted to do yet, and I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money at a big college, waste money.
Yeah. The same way in Buddhist practice. So
Community college helped me find out what I wanted to do first.
and it's cheaper too, right?
Yes.
Much cheaper, right? Who been in the community college before? Oh, many people. I heard this is about 200 per credit, right? Per class.
One semester for me was cheaper than one class here.
Really? Much different.
Yeah, I would take 4 classes, and everything's going to be $1,000 per semester.
Here's 5 times.
Correct.
This here is 5 times, 4 times. Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So it's again the same. It works the same way. It's just that experience me. So you guys got some kind of scholarship, right? Most of you got some kind of scholarship, right? Huh?
Bill.
Okay, pay the bill, huh? All right, let's move on. All right, let's this one here. She's not here. You want to talk about this Sutra?
Oh,
Yeah, what's about?
okay, so I haven't read all of it, okay, so it's about it's basically Buddhism 101, because he's just talking about everything, the whole truth, and then so this is why a lot of people, the demons and ghosts, they wanted to destroy this sutra because it's too true. And so the first few chapters that I read, he talks about the location of the mind, and where's the mind, and what do you call it? Visual awareness, where's visual awareness? Talks about all that. And yeah, that's all I've got.
Yeah, go ahead. You done?
Oh yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead to explain. What's the essential meanings of this sutra?
The essential meaning.
Yes.
Oh. I don't know.
Oh, what? You don't know?
The essential meaning behind it?
Yes.
The true mind? Is that it?
Oh, yes.
It's
we discussed more.
It's discovering the true mind.
Yeah.
And it's extinguishing outflows.
Okay. So what else? What did you learn from this sutra then?
What what I learned, where the mind was. I learned where that was. I kind of learned where the mind is, like, because he was talking about, like, when we see things, that's when our mind, like, perceives them, so that's where the mind is. It's like the things that we see. I think that's it. I don't know.
So, you want to say something? You wrote this number, right?
Yeah.
You want to say something?
Well, one of the things that the sutra talks about is like there's
27?
two types of mind.
Yes, go ahead.
And like the first mind is like the ordinary mind that we're aware of, like we live our lives through it. It's like trapped lifetime after lifetime and like illusionary perceptions and stuff. And the second mind is looked at as the true mind, which is like to like seek it out, is to attain Buddhahood.
What else? Do you have this kind of question before? What kind of mind do you have? You have this question before? No? Probably you may not think about that, right? I mean, oh, this is my brain, this is my mind, that's all right. But in this particular sutra, the Buddha, the first chapter, it has conversation with Ananda, his close disciple, about how to identify the false mind and the true mind. Without this, there is no way for you to practice the force of the fake mind to the true mind. So basically, it's talk about what we call, go back to what we call Buddha nature. That we will talk later on. And in that sutra, in this Srimambo Sutra, it talks a lot about the teachings of disciplines, and it talks about some achievement of some past Bodhisattva and so forth. And actually, in that sutra, there's a particular mantra that for us, for monks and nuns at the temple, we recite every morning. What we call Shurama mantra. It's long. I don't know whether you guys recognize or not. If you stay back, if you sleep over at the temple for the monks and nuns who recite that mantra, it's pretty long mantra. You may not know, right? Do you know? No? Okay, that we recite every morning. That's this mantra, we can say that it eradicates the bad karmas as well as ranging from, we can say that evil demons, whichever interrupt us, obstruct us on the way, on our stupid path. Alright, so this is one of the important sutra in Mahayana tradition too. Let's move on to, okay, the Haman Sutra. Alright, you want to talk about this? You talk about this before, right?
For me, the Dhamma Sutra, what I read was the Dhamma Sutra was a sutra that Buddha gave to a person named Subhuti. And he called it the Dhamma Sutra because it was supposed to destroy the illusion around you, like the worldly possessions and stuff, and reveal the ultimate reality that everything is temporary. And pretty much it.
And so, okay. You want to say something about the sutra?
It was classified as something like perfection of wisdom.
Okay.
It emphasized the practice of non-abiding and non-attachment.
Let's go beyond duality, right? Okay. Sandra, you here? Oh, you want to say something about this?
What I read that if you read it slowly, you get to understand it better than if you were to just say
me see, Joseph, you want to say something about this sutra?
I also read that it was taken directly from the Buddha's teachings, and it was commissioned by a man named Wang Ji, and we know that because that's what it says at the end. And apparently one of the main lines of it says is true charity occurs only when there are no notions of giving, giver, or gift. I don't really know what that means.
All right. You want to say something about this sutra? Yes.
So throughout the sutra, the Buddha teaches you to not be constrained by concepts, which is basically exercises of non-attachment and non-biting. And it's mostly about impermanence throughout the sutra. And like she said, it has to be, you're meant to understand it deeply and refine when you read it and read it slowly so you really understand everything it's saying.
Okay. One thing I want to mention about this sutra is very interesting because, you know, you remember I told you we went deeply the biography of the six patriarchs, remember? His body is still intact for 1,000 years, remember I told you? One day, when he carried the wood to sell for the wealthy man, and somehow he heard that wealthy man deciding this sutra to the part that don't dwell on the sound, don't dwell on the hearing. Sorry, don't dwell on the sound, don't dwell on the sight, but dwell on the place that no more dwelling, to initiate your mind. Probably you don't understand what I'm talking about, right? Let me give you this example. Here. Okay. Here for the eyes. Here for the ears. Okay, the eyes, we see the sight, right? The ear, we hear the sound, right? Right? So in this sutra, the Buddha says that don't base on this sight or sound to initiate your thought. Why is that? Why?
Because that's the false mind. Because like we're trying to perceive it, and by perceiving it, we're like deluding ourselves from like reality.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. When you see this one, this water bottle, especially it's not pure water. I don't know what kind of water. Teas? Oh really? Are you in tea every day? Wow. Green tea? What is that? What kind of tea is that? Okay. So when you see this, usually we drink that kind of pure water, right? But somehow she drink this kind of tea. But before I raise up this water bottle, when you see this side, what's happened in your mind?
We already identify it as something else. It's already pre-recorded in our minds.
Yes. Why don't she drink pure water? It's not this kind of, I don't know. Right? That's the side. When you see the side, we initiate the thought, some kind of concept, or we pre-programming our thought about this kind of side, this kind of object, right? Understand that? And when you hear the sound, whether it's music or whether you hear my sound, what happened? You analyze. Makes sense? So the Buddha say, don't base on them to initiate your thought. Why? Most of the time, oh yeah, it looks strange and so forth. Makes sense? So you have the tendency, remember we talk about like and dislike? Remember this? Right? Attachment and rejection. Remember that? That's authenticity. It's authenticity. That's why when we hear the sound, when we see the sight, this authenticity for these two, attach you or reject. Is that right? Okay, that's why the Buddha saying this sutra, don't based on them, don't based on the sight, don't based on the sound, just based on no base. To initiate the mind. Yes?
Wait, what about imagination?
That's different.
Because
Imagination, that's what the thought is for. That's the thought. What they call it, consciousness.
yeah.
That's the called perception. Imagination, let's come from that one too. So basically the Buddha said that use your pure mind to see things. That's what we talk about intuition, right? It's go beyond the thought, it go beyond the analytical thinking. To see things, it's in a pure way. Make sense? And that's why at that moment, you see picture, he recognized Buddha teaching. He recognized his Buddha nature on the spot. That's Buddha nature. When you live with the Buddha nature, you're free of this discrimination, of analytical thinking. You're free of stress. You're free of anxiety and so forth. You're free of mental affliction. You're free of mental fluctuation. That's what this is for. It's understandable? Right? It's not easy until you understand and put into practice. Most of the time, I think most of the professors, they explain in the physical way, but for me, I express that in practical sense. Alright, so that's just one. Now let's move on to the next one. Here, this is the Sutra of Eight Realization. You here? Yeah, it's easy for you to understand. What's about?
It was a lot, but I just summed it up by it's mostly comprised of being aware of mostly everything around you, like being aware that suffering is inevitable and acknowledging the world around you and just progressing towards enlightenment. And it was practice. It was like practice and study by the Buddha and all of his disciples.
Yes.
And it talked a lot about meditation as well, and just saying that that is like of great importance as well. So like the first realization is just being aware of the world and how nothing is permanent, it's always changing. And the second one was realizing that desire and distractions and things of that sort, they happen all throughout your life, but it's, you have to realize that you have to like get past that. A lot of people say a lot of stuff. It's really a lot, so I don't know how to sum it up without reading it.
Yeah, basically this age realization summarizes the whole Buddha teachings from talking about the impermanence, the egolessness, and so forth. And plus, at the end, it encouraged people to become Buddhist monk in them. It's at the end. But anyways, it's a combination of the Mahayana and the Rabba the teachings. In short, that's why it compiled in what that short sutra. Christina, you here? Oh, you want to say something about this?
So the 8 realizations are basically things that you need to keep in mind in order to reach enlightenment. When you properly meditate them and recite them, it can liberate you from birth and death, the cycle. And it helps you reach enlightenment.
So this is just the guideline for people to understand this. All right, let's just move on. This one here is a bit harder. You enjoy this sutra? Yeah, you can explain this. What's about? What's the title? Earth-Star Sutra. Yeah, this is the transliteration. Earth-Star Bodhisattva Sutra. Go ahead.
So, I think the sutra contains like a detailed description about the many heavens and hells.
Yes.
And then it also showed like how people's ignorance establishes them.
And so, this. You have this copy at home? I think so too. You want to give me a time. You know about that? Yes? Probably go home and ask your parents. I think they would know, right? They would decide that. What? That's all?
I think it also touched on like filial piety.
You guys know what's been filial piety about? What's been? You know what's mean? What is what?
Honoring one's parents and family.
Yes. This virtue is emphasized in the East, not much in the West. But in India, in China, and how about in Nepal too, right? You're supposed to support your parents, care for your parents and parents when they get older, to repay their kindness and so forth. Not much in the West, right? Right? Because when you're 18, they kick you out. Is that right? But even, I think most of you, if you are Asian, if you've been with Chinese and so forth, most of your parents prefer you to stay back with them forever. Yes? Excuse me?
Most Latino cultures as well.
What is it?
Most Latino cultures.
Oh, really? SM2? Oh, I see. Why? Why? I don't know why it is similar in here, but not in the West. How about in your country? Is that this one? You know what's been filial piety in your country? You born in Eastern Europe, right?
Turkey. Yeah, I grew up there.
Did they mention about this?
No.
No. How you repay your parents' kindness?
Yeah.
They mentioned about that too?
Yeah. Pretty much like my dad stayed with my great parents until he was like 30, 40 years old. So, and like he take care of her.
Do they expect the children, the grandchildren to live together with them? Or they kick them out when they're 18?
I mean, pretty much they stay together. Yeah.
Is that
they
stay together? Oh, okay. All right. So I see. I know this both division, East and West. I see some advantage and disadvantage. This is not the traditions. The advantage is that yes, you get support from your parents, even your grandparents or relatives and so forth. Is it in Mexico too? Is that right?
Yeah, like you just keep building more rooms in your property and everybody just lives together.
Yeah.
Well, not everybody, but as much as you can, as many as you can.
If you just see the family pictures of American families and Asian families, quite different. Is that right? What's the difference?
Well, in my family, like the bigger the family, everybody gets in the picture. Like it just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Families pictures. Most of the time, only yes.
My boyfriend is Vietnamese, and I went to Thanksgiving with his family, and there were like close to 50 people there. And it was very overwhelming. And then when he would come over to my place for Christmas, it would be like just my grandparents, my parents, and us. It would be very small. So.
Yeah, so that's a big difference. So this one here in the East, filial piety is so important. So they don't emphasize much in. They don't talk about this much.
I mean, I don't know what
Then
that
probably
is.
different term, right? I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, so this particular sutra, remember I told you at the beginning when we talk about miracles, remember I told you my own story. I decided sutra 7 days, and somehow the man who was in coma for I think for several weeks, he came back to life. It's beyond my thinking. And this is miracle. Of course, in this sutra, it's talk about pillar pieties. It's talk about, especially one lady. She wants to know where her mom's went. So that's why she prayed for the Buddha. And somehow in the dreams, the past Buddha gave her the sign and led her to the hell to see her mom because she fell down there. And eventually, because of her virtue, her mom was born in heaven. So that's emphasized a lot filial piety too. And actually, this sutra was spoken by Shakyamuni Buddha in the 32 heavens. Remember when his mom Mahayana, she passed away 7 days after he was born. So she was born up there. She was born up to the 32 heavens. And that's why in one summer retreat, the Buddha spent the whole summer over there, up there, to teach his mom. That according to the Mahayana tradition. But in the Theravada, it has a record. It record that it has a record that the Buddha went up there, but it didn't say much about what he taught over there. But in Mahayana traditions, they say that the Buddha taught his mother over there in one summer. Yeah. Okay. So let's move on. This one is from Moon. Ray, you want to say about this?
Yeah. So it's basically the highest moral code in Mahayana Buddhism. And it focuses around compassion towards others, all sentient beings. And it's about guiding sentient beings towards enlightenment. Not necessarily like converting them to Buddhism, but kind of showing them a path to enlightenment. It's also, there's a big filial piety theme towards unconditional compassion towards one's parents. Vegetarianism came from it, which is interesting.
Lord Buddha, he told his disciples that if anyone who has received this Bodhisattva precepts, if they fail to recite them regularly, he is not a Bodhisattva. And if anyone violates any of these precepts, they will forever be cast out of the sea of Buddhism. And if they maintain them, they are guaranteed to obtain liberation. And there are 10 major precepts.
So what's the difference between 10 major precepts and 5 precepts for lay people? See the difference? You recognize any difference? You recognize any difference? Here, almost the same as the 5 basic precepts for the lay people. No killing, no stealing, no sexual misconduct, no lying, and no taking toxin. But it's different in the sense that, like for example, you cannot kill, and you cannot encourage other people to kill. That's different. Sometimes you say, oh, I don't kill. Okay, go ahead, kill for me. Is that right? No, I don't want to steal, but steal for me. Or even steal for yourself. That's violate this precept. And plus, on the top, that we don't drink alcohol. But if we encourage other people to drink, that's the offense too. The same. Bodhisattva means, remember, to concern about others. To help others, not only for yourself. When you keep your 5 precepts, if you don't kill, you don't sin and so forth, yes, you're free of this karma. But this Bodhisattva precept, it encourages you or demand you not to encourage other people to commit this kind of offenses. And actually, this is the first sutra that I ever taught in 1991 when I first became monk. And it's really important. Remember I told you, 52 stage of Bodhisattva, and this is the first stage. Whoever receives this Bodhisattva precept, they consider as the initial Bodhisattva. That means you care for others while you help yourself. But like I told you, if you're good in math, in English, and so forth, you can go to learning center to be tutor. Same thing. That's what the Bodhisattva is for. And remember I told you, even Mother Teresa or whoever help humans, we consider them as Bodhisattva. Even they don't follow Buddhist traditions. That's just in the broader sense, right? It's just so important. Now, not to praise oneself and speak ill of others and encourage others to do so. Don't praise yourself and put down others. That's one particular precept too. Not to train yourself, because if you train yourself, you harm others. You drink alcohol, you drunk, you may encounter something about yourself, but you sell to others, you may moderate the karma condition for them to be drunk, to harm themselves. That's why for the one who practices Bodhisattva precept could not do any kind of drugs, any kind of alcohol. And even for me, most in my late Vietnamese people ask me if I can transmit them this precept. They say, yes, with one condition. One condition is that they have to be pure vegetarian. They cannot eat meat at all for the rest of their life. Because when you consume meat, that means you harm sentient beings. No matter what you say, in Buddhist view, right? Without the man, right, is no supply. Is that right? That's just the same concept. If we talk about that, right? Yes, if the chicken in front of you, you don't dare to chop off the head, right? But when you go to the supermarket, it's there. It's so delicious. It's quite different. But still, you're involved in this kind of karma. So this Bodhisattva precept help us to develop our compassion in full ways, step by step. And this one particular minor precept that, okay, let's say if you're a nurse, later on, if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, and even if you don't know anything about medicine, let's say your friends or whoever call you, oh, I have so many problems. My head is pain and so forth. And if you don't stand out to help them, you violate the precept. Do you understand that? This is an ideal way of life, to stand out and help others instead of help yourself. Okay? Even here, it's not easy not to harbor anger and encourage others to be angry. It's not easy, but still, we try to live up with this, can say that, code or expectation. All right, let's, Emily's here. Oh, no, okay, this is not the last one here. Okay, this one is one of the particular sutra, what we call Vimala Piti. You may not know much about this one, right? It's talk about a lay person. It's talk about the ideal Bodhisattva too. A lay person who speaks the Dharma instead of Buddhas, instead of his disciple. Okay. Here is his picture image here, and this particular layman, he's wealthy man, and he speaks according to the Buddha teachings in the sense, in this way that that's similar concept carries as the Dhamma Sutra, a perfect wisdom sutra. So that's why somehow we consider this one as a sutra. And actually, the Buddha sent his 10 disciples, 10 great disciples, to discuss with him about the non-dual concept, but somehow they don't go accept Manjuri Bodhisattva, who represent the wisdom. And so this sutra and this sutra, this layman, he talk about that type non-duality concept. Sorry, non-dual concept there. Sorry. All right. So and this is really popular in the East. Okay. Now let's just move on to number 12 then. Okay. This one is really interesting. Now, Greg, you want to say about Narayana?
Yeah, so not much is known about his actual life, but they estimate that he lived in southern India in around the 2nd century. And he's one of the most famous Mahayana philosophers. He believed he wrote like basically it's like a synthesis of 68 different sutras. And his main themes are about emptiness and middle way. So it was kind of confusing, some of his philosophy. I'm not an expert on it, so I didn't understand all of it, but it was kind of about how we have to find a balance between self-indulgence and self-mortification. So not having nothing, but like not having a lot either.
Yeah. This one?
Yeah.
Okay, here. So we live in the approximately 2 century AD. And he's considered our second Buddha. Why? Because of him, he initiated the Mahayana movement. And he wrote so many sutras, so many commentaries that's talk about this one, what we call Bodhisattva, especially the middle path. And even he established that school, the middle path school, and especially he mentioned about emptiness. You guys heard about emptiness? This one I want to mention one thing. Actually, let me talk briefly about his life. So, yes, he was born in South India, and before he became a monk, somehow he learned some kind of alchemist, like a psychic power. Somehow he and his friends somehow went to the palace and messed around with the ladies in the court. And his friends were caught, and almost all of them were killed, were executed. And later on, he recognized his fault. Later on, he became monks eventually. So, according to the legend, he went down to the sea and met what they call Naga. Naga is the king of snake, and that king of that Naga king kept the Buddha teaching, the perfect wisdom teaching, and that's why he brought up to human realm to spread out. That's why he could initiate the Mahayana movement. That's what his name is for. Naga is the king, the snake king, and he was the chancellor of Nalanda University, and he wrote so many of sutras and commentaries. And also in Mahayana traditions, we have the Zen traditions, the Tantric traditions, the Pure traditions, what they call consciousness only tradition and so forth. All of them consider him as the patriarch, as the founders of these traditions. So that's why we consider him as second Buddhas. And that's why he established this one, Mahayana. That means the middle path school. Middle path means no point to nihilism and eternalism, or nothingness, or last forever. For instance, so someone say, okay, after I pass away, I will be back as human again. That's called eternalism. and someone say, oh, after I pass away, everything is done. Let's go nihilism. Or let's go back to you. What happened? What do you think when you're done with your life? Where you go? What do you think? Where you go after you're done with this life? You don't know. Huh?
Pure Land.
Pure Land? Oh yes, if you're Buddhist, if you recite Buddha names, and who else? Where you go?
Heaven.
Huh?
Heaven.
Heaven, a Pure Land? Yes, if you have a faith, right? And actually, I met so many elderly people. As long as they have the strong faith, whether they have strong faith with Buddha or Jesus Christ or God, so forth, they're more peaceful than the one who doesn't have any faith. Have you seen that before? Have you recognized us? Yes. That's why. That's why I don't know. So for me, it's better to have faith and not things. Otherwise, yes.
My life is always, I've always felt happy when I have faith.
Yeah, so this just depends on you.
I was miserable when I was an atheist.
Okay. Also depend. Yes. So depend. So it's better if you have some faith with someone else, with God or Buddha, and so on, so that can keep hold, to keep move on whenever you encounter difficulties and so forth. All right. So how about this? Probably next time, this Thursday, we talk about emptiness. That is the most, that's many people have most misconception about this principle. All right? So thank you. We'll see you on this Thursday then.